उद्या त्यांच्याशी डिस्कस करू आपण ते, कारण त्याला खूप खर्च आहे. आज जेव्हा ते शुक्रवारी वगैरे त्या दिवशी आपण डिस्कस करू, कारण खर्च खूप येणार आहे. मी त्याचं कॉस्टिंगच केलं नाही आता. कॉस्टिंग करा तुम्ही, बाकी सगळं काम करा. काय ना 2 दिवस लेट झाल्याने काही ते आपल्याला येईल, पण कॉस्टिंग करा. माझं फिरायला.
All right, wish you a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're all welcome to today's SaleskiPathshala. And in today's program, we're going to talk about how do you make use of technology to improve teamwork in sales. Ji haan dosto, today the topic is how exactly do you make use of technology to further enable teamwork in sales. And as I say this, it's important for all of us to understand that today's program is all about understanding that in today's world, if we do not make use of technology, then probably we will not make great salespeople, right? Because in these pandemic times, the world demands that we should be able to do our work as efficiently as possible sitting at home. We should be able to collaborate with each other seamlessly, again working from remote locations. So there are a lot of challenges which current times really poses on us. And in these challenging times, today's SaleskiPathshala is dedicated towards how exactly do we fight these challenges by making use of technology? And as I say this, I'm aware that many of you, or rather most of you, must be making use of some of these technologies. But I just thought that I'll do a compendium of all these technologies together and see whether I can add some value to your knowledge on this or not. So as we are ready, geared up to start today's program, customary, before we start the program, we want to check whether everything is clear, my audio, my video, the PowerPoint slides. So just write all clear on the chat box, and I know that we are all clear to go, ready to shoot. So just put all clear on the chat box. All right, fantastic. Fantastic. Lalit Bokwal, that's a new name that I see there, Nakul Agarwal. All right, wonderful, great. Use of technology for teamwork in sales. And there's a slight play on that word technology. So we say that, do you know the right technology which will help you in achieving better teamwork in sales? So that's the program today. As we move forward, right at the beginning of the program, I want to make this disclaimer that I'm not an affiliate marketer. So in the course of this program, I might end up talking about a lot of technical utilities. The idea, I'm not here to sell them, but I make use of them myself, and I thought that I'll introduce them to you. So all brand names used in this presentation are cited just as an example. There are multiple options available in the market, and each one of you can choose from the same. So that's just a small disclaimer. All right. So let's begin, and that's the agenda for today on your screen. What are the challenges for teamwork in sales? So what exactly are the points where we require teamwork in sales? And then where exactly do you feel the need for technology, if at all you do? And then how do you make use of various tools available so that you could face your challenges properly? So first things first, let's quickly write down what are the challenges. Now, when we look at the typical function of sales, and especially in these pandemic times when we are required to work from home, what is my challenge number one? My challenge number one is, how do I manage my time? Because I'm working from home, or even if I'm going out, my travel outside the house or office is very limited. I do not go out unless I'm sure that I'm going to a safe place. I do not go out unless I'm sure that I must go out. So time management is a challenge. Work from home itself is a big challenge. Working from home in itself is a big challenge because I do not have access to my data servers. I do not have the privilege of sitting across the table and discussing with my colleague. I do not have the privilege of talking to my boss across the table and seeking solutions to my problems. There are multiple channels of conversation. So as a salesperson, I need to talk to my marketing team. I need to talk to my customer service team. I need to talk to my finance team, my supply chain management team, my logistics team. And more often than not, I end up talking to them on my WhatsApp. And then WhatsApp keeps on rolling in and out, and all my messages get bungled into each other. And very soon, I'm not left with any structured set of data. So my need for parallelly conversing on multiple channels is very acute because I'm a sales manager and I cannot survive all alone. So I must talk to purchase, I must talk to logistics, supply chain, finance, deliveries, in fact, all the departments. Going forward, I need to do work scheduling because the time that I will go out to the field is no longer fixed. So my D.I.L.O or my day in the life of program or my calendar has taken a deep change. Earlier, I was expected to be starting my office work by 10 o'clock, but now it's not like that. So I need to schedule my work. I need to create a tribe. You see, irrespective of whichever product you are, now you have to understand the logistics of how do you create a critical set of followers online, right? So that you could put them into auto lead responders and stuff like that. How do you do online lead qualification? How do you keep your leads engaged? How do you do mass email marketing? And so how do you take feedback forms? How do you take any kind of survey polls or feedback forms? And of course, how do you do your customer relationship management? How do you do your graphic designing? Because these days, all of us are expected to pump in a lot of content on social media. So how do you do your graphic designing? And do you depend on an external agency to be doing all that? And so on and so forth. So what I've tried to do on this slide is I've tried to list down all the challenges. And I'm sure that each one of you is able to handle these challenges even now. But do you feel the need for automation in any of these challenges? Is the moot question which I'm trying to ask. So guys, before we proceed, can you go to the chat box and please write down for me, out of these challenges, which challenge do you ideally like to automate? I repeat my question. Out of all the challenges mentioned on the screen, as a professional, which of these challenges you feel the need to have some kind of technology because you find the data so overwhelming that you're not able to manage it in a manual setup? Yes, quickly on the chat box, guys. Which of these challenges do you want to automate? All right, we have Rama Subramaniam. He says he wants to automate CRM. All right, great. Rama is fastest of the block. Guys, I am looking for your feedback. Which of these challenges do you think you would ideally like to automate? Okay, Lalit Dokwal says multiple channels of conversation. Yes, very good. So Lalit, which industry do you belong to? Okay, Sanjay Agarwal says work scheduling, and then someone else who says CRM. Okay, Rama says lead generation as well. He wants to automate lead generation. Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. So Priya Singhania says work from home. Okay, he wants to know what kind of technology should he make use of when he's working from home to be able to control his people. Okay, fantastic, Priyesh. Point noted. All right, I'm still waiting for others to give their feedback on the chat box. All right, as we roll it further. So let's take it further one step at a time, and you would very soon understand. Okay, I just saw a message there. Let me just check that out. So there's a message in the chat box. Oh, okay, Lalit is from Plastic Surgery. Okay, cloud telephony. So Rama is coming up with great ideas. Wonderful. Okay, wonderful, great. Okay, so let me see. So I want to start with something very basic, but I know that a lot of these small and medium enterprises do not do this. Guys, you need to have a D.I.L.O. And D.I.L.O stands for day in the life of. And Google Calendar is what I make use of. There are hundreds of other calendars available in the market. But if you do not maintain an online calendar even now, it's a crime. So please, I'm sure 90% of you do maintain a calendar which is online. But if you do not, then it's quite sinful. Please do it today. It's free. You don't have to pay any money. You just have to get more organized. So I'm not going to invest more time into this. Prepare your D.I.L.O. on a Google Calendar and work according to the calendar and not according to your own whims and fancies. That will give you a much better time management tool. Nothing rocket science here, but I'm sure you understand. So once you have a Google Calendar, you can synchronize it with others, you can share your calendar with others, and so many other things. Not going to waste much time onto it. Now here, I'm sure all of you are aware of what is a Google Drive. So all those of you who are working from home and have this problem of not being able to access your drives or have this problem of not being able to access your servers, please learn how do you store your data on Google Drive. And it's not very expensive. You can actually buy 1 TB storage on Google Drive. So up till 20 GB, it's free. Beyond 20 GB, you can buy storage. It's not very expensive, but you will have to learn how do you keep your data online along with encryption, because you should not lose your data to competition. It's all possible on Google Drive, a real-time basis. You can store your data, you can edit files. When you edit files, all your team members with whom you're collaborating will get to know about the edits and changes. Fantastic. Now that's what I spoke about Google Drive. We spoke about Google Calendar, Google Drive, very elementary. I'm sure you guys are using it. Just in case you're not using it, start using it today. Now we come with a very interesting tool called Slack. You know, there's a tool called Slack, S-L-A-C-K. And there are hundreds of other tools like Slack. So there's something like Trello and Microsoft Teams, so many of them. I personally use Slack. Now, what is more important for you to understand that Slack is a tool which gives you the option of collaboration in teams. So you see, when multiple teams are working parallelly, all contributing towards the function of sales, and they need to talk to each other, then you need to have, you know, if you imagine WhatsApp with the added facility that you can open channels within WhatsApp. So just imagine for a moment कि आप WhatsApp use कर रहे हैं और जब आप मुझसे बात करते हैं तो आप संजय के नाम से एक चैनल खोल सकते हैं, और जब आप मेरे अकाउंटेंट से बात करते हैं तो आप अकाउंटेंट के नाम से एक अलग चैनल खोल सकते हैं, इन द सेंस कि आप पैरेलल लेजर्स खोल सकते हैं जिसके साथ जो कन्वर्सेशन आपकी हो रही है वो उसके लेजर में पोस्ट करेंगे. यानी कि विद इन योर कंपनी इफ यू डील विद 10 people you can open 10 different channels and you can guide the conversation in each channel accordingly. तो सिचुएशंस कैसे बन गए हैं कि 1-to-1 कन्वर्सेशन.
संजय सर, सॉरी,
दो लोग आपस में 1-to-1 बात करेंगे तो आप उस चैनल में जाएंगे, अपनी बातें रख देंगे और उस चैनल वाला आपके पास आएगा, अपनी बातें रख देगा, which is more or less like WhatsApp. But जब conversation in a channel होगा, when multiple people are talking in a channel, so you have this option of 1-to-1, 1-to-many, many-to-one. तीनों चीज possible है इस particular app में, and this app is available again free of cost. You don't have to pay any money for it. 1-to-1 conversation, conversation in a channel, time, date, responsibility allocation. You can even put a notification. मान लीजिए मैं आपके ग्रुप में हूँ और आपने मुझे कुछ काम दिया है जो 15 फरवरी के पहले खत्म हो जानी चाहिए. You can set a timer on 15 February. फिर आपको 14 फरवरी को रिमाइंडर आ जाएगी कि आपने संजय सिंह को ये काम दिया था, अभी तक वो हुआ नहीं. मान लीजिए हो गया है तो संजय सिंह स्लैक में जाके अपडेट कर सकते हैं कि आपने जो मुझे काम दिया था जिसकी लास्ट डेट 15 फरवरी है वो मैंने कर लिया है और वो टास्क वहां से हट जाएगा. So this is an excellent tool for team collaboration, and I strongly recommend that you should use one of these tools, either Slack, Trello, Microsoft Teams, and so many else available in the market. All right. So before I move forward, I just want to quickly check if there is any question for me on the chat box on Slack. All right. One thing at a time, we'll take it forward, guys. A lot of background noise is what Bhavna is saying. Bhavna, I'm really sorry because I cannot hear it because I'm using the lapel mic, but let me mute everyone once again. Yeah. Okay. Bhavna, I muted everyone. Can you please confirm if there is no sound in the background? All right. Thank you very much, Bhavna. Thank you so much. So guys, before moving forward, I just want to confirm, do you have any questions on collaborative, concurrent working of a sales team together? If there's any question, please write it down. And yeah, Slack is free download. It's free download. Yes, Rama, it is a free download tool. In fact, today, all the tools are available for free download. There is a paid version, which you will need to pay only beyond a particular point. I have been using these tools for more than 3 years now, and I have not paid till now. So for a small and medium enterprise, it's perfectly fine. You really don't need to go to the paid version. Yes, Rama, thank you so much. Any other question from anyone on this particular tool? Okay, as we go along. Okay, Lalit Hokwal says, can we use to communicate channel of conversation? Yes, you can. Yes, you can communicate on channel of conversation. There is no problem. You can have multiple channels of conversation. You can have single channel of conversation. So in fact, since there is so much of discussion, let me quickly open Slack for you and show you. All right, so can you see Slacks? Okay, let me just, I'll just open Slack for you and I'll share Slack for you. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah. So can you see Slack on the screen now? Please confirm. One of you, please confirm. Can you see Slack on the screen? Yes. Yes, you can see Slack. Okay, fantastic. So when you open Slack, this is how it looks. So you can see there, I have opened a channel called Royal Rajputs. That's one channel. Actually, recently we had a marriage in the family and we use Slack to converse within ourselves. So just for an example, so you see Royal Rajput is a channel which I have opened, and within Royal Rajputs, there are so many channels. So bride accessories. I'm just showing an example of a real marriage which actually happened in my family 2 months back. So we opened this channel and we had this parallel channels like bride accessories, bride clothing, bride jewelry, catering, entertainment, finance, and so on and so forth. And you can see this add channels. You can keep on adding channels as you want. And within each, so if you want to talk about something to do with bride accessories, you go to bride accessories and you write here, and it will be communicated to everyone who is part of the group. Similarly, you can share files, you can share any documents. So basically it stays as a collaborative tool. All right. So do you get what is Slack now? And you can open multiple channels. So I'm just showing you Royal Rajputs there, but you can open multiple channels. So Dokwal, does it answer your question? Dokwal, does it answer your question? Okay. All right. Very cool. Okay. Very nice. So let me take you forward. Let me take you forward. All right, there's small glitch here. Okay, so that's how the channel looks, and I quickly take you down to the next challenge for which we need technology, and that is work today, post tomorrow, and review day after tomorrow. You know, especially in this world of social media, there's a lot of work which we, you know, like maybe you sit on a Sunday and you do a lot of social media posts together, but you can't be uploading all of them together on a Sunday, because if you do that, that will be too much of posting at one go. So what do? You need a scheduler which will schedule your work. Not only schedule your work, but it will also help you review the reaction and responses of people. So there is this application which I make use of, which is called getresponse.com. Now there are a lot of such autoresponders. So you have activecampaign.com, you have getresponse.com, and many more. That is not important. What is important is what exactly do you do from these utilities? Number one, you schedule content, right? You schedule content. So if you may create 10 posts, and if you want one post to go every day at a particular time, you can schedule your content there. So just for scheduling content, you have a lot of other utilities like hotsuite.com, publer.com, and so on and so forth. But then along with scheduling, it also helps you in mass email marketing. So what do I do in mass email marketing? So when I send emails to 100 people, Normally, I do not get too much response and I really do not know what to do next. But if you are doing a mass email marketing through GetResponse, then what happens is you will get an analytics as to how many emails were open, how many emails were not open at all, and how many emails were forwarded within the same domain organization, and so on and so forth. Now, some of you might say that mass email marketing can happen in MailChimp.com also, and it can happen in so many other webs. So why go for GetResponse? See, GetResponse is one portal which gives you 4-5 options together. Anyway, so you schedule content. After scheduling content, you get followers. So when you get those followers, you create a list of those followers, which is what we call create a tribe. It's something like creating a cult. So you develop a cult of followers, and then you use scheduled content to keep your followers suitably engaged. Having ensured that you're keeping your followers suitably engaged, you can create landing pages through GetResponse. You can create lead magnets through GetResponse, and you can be doing this entire job of lead generation, lead engagement, and lead conversion through GetResponse. So GetResponse becomes a very good online technology tool. Of course, as long as your load is not more than 500 emails in a month, you work on a free option, and then you move on to a paid option, which varies between $35 to $120 per month, depending on what kind of load you are handling. But at this juncture, what is important to know, why do I need an auto lead responder? Because I need to schedule my content. I need to create a list of followers. Number two. Number three, I need to do mass email marketing. And finally, I need to build a tribe of followers. I need to create a cult, because this cult will follow me. And finally, this cult will give me leads and sales, right? So that's what a autoresponder does. And if you search on Google in the genre of autoresponders, you will get a lot of them, right? To each one to his own. You can choose your own favorite from there. My favorite is GetResponse, and I make use of GetResponse. But then what you need to understand in today's SaleskiPathshala is, what is an autoresponder? What are the optional autoresponders? And it's high time that you need an autoresponder in your business as well. Fantastic, guys. Can you quickly go to the chat box and write AR autoresponder, so that I know that you've understood autoresponders? Can you quickly go to the chat box and write AR autoresponders? All right, Sanjay Agarwal, autoresponder. Lalit Thokwal, thank you so much. Jahir. All right, fantastic, good. Fantastic, wonderful. Great. So let's move forward. So having done the autoresponder, I now take you forward. So that's the kind of, that's a screenshot from GetResponse. So that's the kind of analytics that you can get when you are doing your social media or lead generation, lead activation, lead engagement. It's very interesting. The more you get inside it, the more you'll fall in love with it. But guys, it's high time that we get into it because slowly the methods of marketing is changing, and the door knocks or the office knocks are slowly changing over to the digital knocks. All right, fantastic. Now let me take you to another tool which helps you in conducting polls. You see, feedback polls, survey polls, market opportunity assessments, market feedbacks. I mean, there are so many polls that you would like to conduct ideally in marketing, and more so in this pandemic times where you need to understand the real pulse of the market and the real what is the market behaving like and what is the market wanting to do. So many of you may have used Google Forms. So Google gives you a free form facility where you can make use of creating an online form and disseminating the form through that Google link which is created. But the Google form is only a tool which will help you create a form. Now, if you do not have the right kind of data to be serving those forms, then what do? You cannot do much, right? So Polefish is what I'm trying to introduce to you. Polefish is an online portal which curates a lot of data across the world. So if you go to Polefish and if you send a mail that you want to conduct a survey in the Pune region on housewives whose average monthly income is above 1 lakh of rupees and who own a Mercedes car, or so you can actually give terms and condition, and Polefish will fish out data for you and conduct a poll for you. So the questionnaire is yours, the poll format is yours. What Polefish does is it fetches you real life data, which is real time, and conducts a poll on your desired profile at your desired time in your desired quarter. And the interesting part is all those people who participate in your poll, Polefish charges you for each positive poll conducted on your behalf. So let's say that they give you 10,000 data and you serve your feedback form on 10,000 people, but only 2,000 people respond. So Polefish will charge you only for 2,000. And it's pretty affordable. Even a small and medium enterprise can afford it. It's not out of the roof. It's not very expensive. All right. So that's Polefish for you. I see a question there. So Charles, my colleague, has posted a feedback form, guys. We normally post this feedback form at halftime. Please ensure that you fill this feedback form at the end of the program so that we can share today's PowerPoint with all of you. All right, so there's a question from Bhavna Chittavar which says that how to make more clients, prospects respond to polls. So Bhavna, the percentage of response that you're able to get on your polls will depend on the quality of poll that you're doing. So it'll depend. So creating a poll is a very scientific process. How do you structure the questions? How do you sequence the questions? Are you asking too many questions or are you asking too lesser questions? So all in all, creating a poll is a science. And the quality of poll that you create will determine what is the response that you get. What the tool does for you, Bhavna, is the tool ensures that you are not charged for a poll which is not relevant for you. So the first thing that Polefish does is it fetches the right data for you. And the second thing that it does is they don't charge you for those polls which are irrelevant for you. So that's what they do. So answering your question, Bhavna, to make more clients respond, you need to work on the quality of poll that you make. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, guys. So Polefish, if all of you are clear with Polefish, can you please write P on the chat box so that I know? Just write a P so I know what you understand by a Polefish. Fantastic. Wonderful. So what have we done till now? We started off with Google Calendar, which is very plain. Then we moved on to Google Drive, which was about centrally storing data and sharing with people on a real-time basis. Having done Google Drive, then we moved on to team collaboration, and we said that why don't you make use of Slack? Because Slack is a team collaboration tool, right? I'm just trying to revise what all we have done till interval. We are just on the 30 minutes mark. So let's quickly revise what all we have done till now. So we spoke about Slack and we spoke about the importance of Slack to promote collaborative work within a sales team, right? Having discussed Slack, we then moved on and we spoke about autoresponders and we spoke about the importance of a portal which helps you create content, then schedule content, then create leads from those content. So you can create your lead magnets, you can landing pages here. Then once you serve the lead magnets, it also helps you in mass email marketing. Having done mass email marketing, it helps you in building a tribe of followers, wherein the followers can then be converted into order. And I propose get response, but you can choose your own. There are a lot of options in the market. And then last, we spoke about conducting polls as a part of the feedback form, and polls, pardon me. So polls, I propose poll fish, but then there are other options. All right, great. Okay, there's a Megha Jain who says, good evening, sir. I don't know, Megha, whether you are too late for today's program, but good evening all the way. You're welcome. Okay, cool. So poll fish this is the kind of survey that it creates for you. Very interesting, guys. All in all, you must visit and check out. Okay. Now we come to your online secretary, which will ask questions before giving appointments. Now, this is very interesting. You know, there's a portal called Typeform, and there are, I'm sure, many more such portals. What is interesting is that, you see, when you are doing business, you have defined, right? In your mind, you have defined that who is your ideal customer, right? So what Typeform does is, you can create lead magnets on Typeform and disseminate it in the open market. Now, the moment there is a positive response to your lead magnet, so for example, I'm a sales trainer and I'm doing an online promotion that I'm conducting a SaleskiPathshala, please register for it. And let's assume that someone has shown an interest and they have clicked on the button. Now, the moment the person clicks on a button, Typeform, I can feed questions in Typeform, and Typeform will start asking questions one by one. So for example, first question they'll ask is, welcome to SaleskiPathshala. Have you been to SaleskiPathshala before? You say yes or you say no. If you say no, then it gives that SaleskiPathshala is held every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Would you like to take annual membership? If you say yes, it will serve you the membership. If you say no, so it goes on a logic, and fed on basis of the feeding of the logic, it will serve a set of 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that you would like to ask a lead when you encounter. So see what happens. The moment you get an online lead, you don't want to talk to all of them. So Typeform becomes your online secretary. You feed the series of questions in the right sequence on Typeform, and Typeform will serve those questions online to the person one after the other. And after having served all the questions one after the other, it will actually qualify a lead and then fix an appointment for you. So if you assume that you have to ask 6 questions, Typeform will ask each question one after the other. By the time the customer or the lead has responded to the 6th question, Typeform will say, okay, do you want to meet Sanjay Singh? And the calendar will come, and the customer will have the option to choose the time and stuff like that and set up a time. It's very interesting. Your online secretary, which will ask questions before giving appointments to any lead. So all in all, Typeform is like an online secretary which qualifies a raw lead and takes it to a point where you will feel like talking to the person, right? So it's a lead qualification tool, which is also called as an online secretary. All right, so there's a question there from Lalit Dhokwal. Is this similar to chatbots we have on websites? So Lalit, chatbots are basically online virtual assistants, right? So chatbot is supposed to capture outside in communication. So when I say outside in communication, if you go to a website, you want to communicate something, chatbot will capture it, right? But Typeform is an inside out communication. So if I'm using Typeform, then if I'm doing a promo online and if Lalit Dhokwal shows interest in it, then Typeform will ask questions on my behalf. Whereas in chatbot, the user asks his or her questions and chatbot answers on behalf of the portal, right? So the direction of communication is opposite in the two different examples. Lalit, I hope I have explained your question. Just type a yes in the chat box if I have explained your question. All right, very good. So your online secretary will ask questions before giving appointments. How many of you do you think that you need this? How many of you feel that you need this? Just type a T in the chat box if you need this. Don't worry, I'm not selling it to you. I have already told you I'm not an affiliate marketer, but I'm just trying to understand that how many of you feel the need for these utilities. All right, there is one person who has typed T, two of you have typed T. In fact, all of us need it. It's not about who is big, who is small. All of us need it. You see, the moment you start doing digital marketing, you will start getting truckloads of leads. And if you do not have some automation to decipher between the good and the not so good, you will not really know how to take it forward, right? So all of us need it actually. Okay, so we spoke about a type form, which is your online secretary, which will ask questions on your behalf. All right. Now we have something called the online graphic designer. You know, these days it has become very important because the moment you go on the digital world, it requires that you should be, you know, using a lot of graphs, a lot of videos, a lot of photographs, a lot of pictures, and suddenly the demand for a graphic designer has increased. Unfortunately, I mean, the good news is that graphic designers are suddenly in huge demand, and the bad news is there are not too many good graphic designers who are affordable and good in the market. So there is a wonderful website called canva.com. I'm sure many of you are aware of it. For those who are not aware of it, canva.com is a website which you must master. In fact, if you want to learn canva.com, just put it in your feedback box, feedback link, and I'll organize one of these sessions on canva.com because I myself grappled through this scenario. So Bhavna says, I agree. Bhavna, I fully appreciate what you're saying. So I myself went through this problem till I decided to learn Canva inside out. Today, I'm able to generate my own graphics. May not be very professional, may not be the best, but then I'm able to do an okay job on graphic designing. And all of you, please understand that you are the best person to design your graphics. Anyone else will not understand what exactly you want. So if you can do your own graphics, absolutely nothing like it. That's the best way to go about it. All right. So canva.com is an online library of pics or videos or forms and checklists and anything in any social media. आपको इंस्टाग्राम में कुछ बनाना है, ट्विटर के लिए बनाना है, कहीं के लिए भी कुछ भी बनाना है, उसके साइजेस दिए हुए हैं, उसके लिए pertinent videos दिए हैं, you can upload your own pictures. So it's very versatile, and the best part, it is almost free. I have been using it for the last 6 years, and I have never felt the need to pay to Canva. So it's really very useful. Yes, I can see some people, Plastic Surge saying, yes, very useful. Lalit Dokwal says, we use Canva. Fantastic. Very good. So you are using Canva, very good, but there are advanced features in Canva and you must master Canva if you really want. So Canva is your online graphic designer. Bhavna says they also use Canva. So wonderful. No rocket science there. All of us are using Canva. There are some other portals like Fiverr.com, Fiverr, which is also a very good site for graphic designs. And I strongly recommend that there are websites which gives you ready-made graphics. So if you pay around 5,000 rupees to many of these portals, there are portals, you can actually download more than 5,000 graphics, which can be used by you in any of your existing programs, right? And that's the importance of Canva, because many a times you use Canva with your own very, very unprofessional designs. So if you do not have good graphics with you, you're not able to come out with good outputs. So it makes perfect sense to invest around 5,000 rupees in one of these portals which sells graphics. You can subscribe to such portal for a year, and across the year you can be downloading more than 10,000 graphics, store it in your Canva for life. So whenever you're preparing anything, you have some ready-made graphics through which you can work it out. All right, fantastic. And then we come to the CRM utility. So we have spoken about the importance of CRM in our lives many a times. So HubSpot is one of the CRMs which we make use of very, very much. There is Joho, there is Sugar, there is Bitrix. There are so many free CRM softwares. I just want to know, what CRM software do you use? Can you go to the chat box and write, what CRM software do you use? In the chat box, please. What CRM software do you use right now? Okay, so Lalit says HubSpot, Bhavna says Joho. Okay, Sanjay Agrawal says Joho. Chander says HubSpot. All right, so HubSpot does have fair amount of following even in this group. Very important to understand. Are you using your HubSpot or any CRM that you use only to dump the data of leads that you're generating? Or are you making use of your CRM for customer satisfaction, for customer engagement, customer loyalty, and getting more customer per customer? So those four things mentioned in the blue box in the bottom right-hand corner are the end results of a good CRM user. So if you're using a CRM, then all these facilities are there, but I'm sorry to say that I find most of you do not make use of CRM as in CRM. Most of you make use of CRM as a dumping ground for raw leads. That's not CRM, my friends. That's just the beginning of CRM. That's just 10% of CRM. So please use the entire flow of CRM, and I'm sure this piece of technology will help you a lot. In fact, the basic question that you need to ask yourself is, how many new customers did you get out of your HubSpot in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year? And if your answer is 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, congratulate yourself, you have used CRM well. But if your answer is, oh, Sanjay, I can get my reports very well, and I am able to get nice electronic printed reports, but the CRM has not helped me in getting more customers. Well, if that is the truth, then you're not using a CRM, you're actually misusing a CRM. So having said that, friends, let me quickly summarize. I have 10 more minutes left. This is the summary of what we discussed today. This is my Tech-know-logy pack for a typical SME CEO or a sales manager. So the first thing we spoke about is Google. So must use Google Drive, Google Calendar, and Google Forms. Very important. Google has got around 40 utilities. So any one of you who has actually gone through all the 40 utilities of Google, fantastic. But even if you have not, and all these 40 utilities of Google is free, but if you have not, make point that you must use these three facilities. Moving on, Get Response, which, as I told you, will help you in doing your mass emails, will help you build a tribe, and it will also help you do a good amount of lead engagement. In fact, once a lead is generated out of Get Response, you feed that lead into your CRM software. So Get Response becomes a plugin into your CRM software from the backend. You get what I mean? Moving forward, Slack. And again, Slack is a plugin into your CRM. So whatever conversation you are doing in Slack can be reflected in your CRM. So Slack becomes another plugin into your CRM. So you know how it works. Suppose this is a CRM. Suppose this is a CRM. So you have a Get Response plugged in here. You have a Google database plugged in here. You have a Slack plugged in here. You have a Pollfish data plugged in here. So all these utilities actually have got an interface with your CRM software, and that's what makes a CRM software very versatile. So we went on, we discussed about Slack, and we said that why Slack is so important. We said that Slack is very important because it helps us do multiple channel conversations concurrently. Having done that, we spoke about Pollfish, and we said that Pollfish will help you in conducting polls. and pay only for that much poll which is relevant for you. It's very interesting, especially for those of you who are trying to do a new market entry, or so those of you who are trying to do a market opportunity assessment, or for those of you who are trying to do a market survey. Pollfish, very, very interesting tool available online. And then we moved on to a virtual assistant. And there are a lot of virtual assistants. So Canva is your virtual assistant for graphic designs. Typeform is your virtual assistant for fixing appointments. And there are so many. The list is endless. I didn't want to keep it endless here. I didn't want to confuse you. Today, whatever we have discussed is the bare minimum that you must make use of in today's time. And of course, HubSpot is my favorite CRM, but Zoho is great, Sugar is great. Whichever CRM you use, make use of it, don't misuse it. So that's my Tech-know-logy pack, guys. We are left with 7 more minutes for today's program. And at this juncture, I would like to bring an end to today's program. And I will seek questions, any concerns, any questions from you. Please put it in the chat box. Please put it in the chat box. Any concerns, any questions on what we did, anything that you would like to ask. I have kept around 7 minutes today for discussion because I presume that we are going to have a lot of discussion today and a lot of ideas are going to flow in. So that's all from my side in today's SaleskiPathshala. For those of you who have come for the first time, let me educate you that SaleskiPathshala happens every Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. All right, so Nakul Agarwal says, how is Trello helpful? So Nakul, Trello is something similar to Slack. Whatever Slack does, Trello also does the same thing. Trello is more defined for people who are working in IT. So it has got some extra benefits for people who work in IT. So, but it's more or less the same kind of tool. So Trello is a competitor of Slack. You can put it like that. All right, good. So, okay, so there are questions rolling in. Okay, there are questions rolling in, guys. I think that this is the time that we can now put our videos on, we can put our sound on, we can unmute ourselves, and we can talk. Yeah, so time to say goodbye and time to take feedback. May I request all of you to please put your videos on. All right, can we put your videos on and can we have your feedbacks? All right, people want to have the videos on. All right, so before today, if there's any questions that you are going to ask, okay, Lalit Dokwal, I can't hear you, my friend. I don't know why I'm not.
Hello.
Yes,
good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Thank you so much for the valuable session, sir. We are being introduced to many tools like Slack, Typeform, especially the Pollfish to conduct the survey. And we definitely implement in our day-to-day sales work, sir. It will be very helpful to us.
Fantastic, fantastic. Lalit, all the way from Amravati, finds it useful. Thank you very much, Lalit. I hope you make use of all those tools. All right, great. Sanjay Agarwal has a question. Can you show usage of Canva? So, Sanjay, I can't show you Canva today because we don't have time, but you can put it in the feedback form. Maybe one of these days I can take a program on Canva in the SaleskiPathshala. Right? All right, very good. Why are we not seeing any videos today? I don't see any videos. Oh, it's my mistake. I had not put that picture on. All right. Yes, Sanjay Agarwal, you want to ask any question? Hi, Nakul. Great. So any questions that anyone of you has from today's program, please shoot it right now. We still have 4 more minutes to take it. Nakul, any question from your side? All right, great. So Chandra, do you think that Slack can be useful in your Blue Ladder?
Yes, sir, it can be useful. It's a good platform.
Yeah, so I would say that please download Slack और सबसे पहले क्या उसको अपने घर पे यूज करना चालू करो. स्लैक में मल्टीपल चैनल्स खोल के, बीवी बच्चों के साथ चैनल खोल के पहले एक हफ्ता just do a transaction, I mean interaction with the family, because nothing can go wrong there, and then slowly bring it to the business.
Already downloaded, sir. I'll be using it.
Very good, wonderful. Good evening, Bhavna. Good to see you after a long time in SaleskiPathshala.
Thank you, sir. I really want to use this Slack and Trello, but getting the complete team to make them use that, I am finding challenge in that, because everyone is so much used to WhatsApp, so they don't want to switch to anything new. I mean, introducing something new becomes a challenge.
I fully agree with you. Actually, it's not everyone, it's us. We are so used to WhatsApp that we do not, there is always a pain. When you want to do something new, there's always a pain. So we are not ready for that pain and we resort to WhatsApp. So the best thing, Bhavna, you want to introduce Trello or Slack, the first thing you have to do is you have to remove WhatsApp from your mobile. Because the moment you remove it from your mobile, people cannot access you on WhatsApp, and they have only one option to access you on Slack, right? And I very strongly recommend, you want to start using Slack, start it in your family. Start it just with your husband or children for 1 week. Everything will be clear. I just showed you a Slack application for an internal marriage in my own family. All of us communicated to each other through Slack.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah, definitely I'll try. Yeah.
Yeah, so in small and medium enterprises, the problem begins with the owner and the problem ends with the owner. There's no harm in thinking like that, because employees can be controlled, but owners cannot be controlled. So you got to discipline yourself, Bhavna.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
If you still face a problem, just call me and I'll ensure that people start using Trello in your office.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, good. We still have 4 more minutes. If there's any other question, we can shoot. Sanjay Agarwal, आपकी वीडियो दिख रही है. Any question you want to ask?
Hey sir, it's all good. काफी नए एप्लीकेशंस सीखने को मिले हैं, तो प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा पहले.
Okay, आपकी आवाज में काफी एंटिसिपेशन और डर दिख रहा है.
नहीं
मतलब एक्साइटेड नहीं हो, आपकी नई चीजें सीखने मिल रही है, आपको डर लग रहा है कि और एक नया चीज सीख के यूज करना पड़ेगा.
नहीं, इट इज नॉट लाइक, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि बहुत अच्छी चीजें सीखने को मिली है, बट उसको सीखना है और प्रैक्टिस करना है पहले सर. Surely. It is always a pain to start something new, but believe me, life becomes very interesting. Many times my customers ask me that, Sanjay, how are you able to manage so much of work? Are you a superman? I always say that, no, I'm not a superman, but I make suitable use of technology wherever required. Right? So it's important how you make use of the right technology at the right place. Lalit Dhokwal, any query from your side before we wrap up for the day? Lalit, you're on mute. आप म्यूट पे हो ललित. क्या अभी चालू?
No, sir. Actually, we are excited to use the tools, and we shall give the feedbacks to you. Definitely.
All right, fantastic. Lalit is from Plastic Search. तो अभी तो आपकी 5 उंगली घी में है. So you don't have to worry about any tools. You just have to worry about supply chain management.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So you're making PP kits. So I'm sure you're in a supplier's market now, not in a buyer's market.
Hopefully, sir. The times are very good for us, but still, as the competition is increasing day by day, we need to keep updated with all the tools by using efficiently, so we can manage the entire team and process effectively, sir.
Surely. All right, guys, thank you so much. If there's no other questions, we can wrap up today's program. All right. Okay, so all of you who have taken out your precious time to be a part of today's SaleskiPathshala, you're welcome. And we meet up again next Wednesday, as we have been doing the last 3 years in succession. So we meet again next Wednesday, 4 o'clock, with a new topic on sales. And next week, the topic is really exciting. I'm going to release it tomorrow into the market and hope forward to see you 4 p.m. next Wednesday. Till then, bye-bye.